What's up, YouTube? So today's topic, I'm gonna talk about the reasons why this life is extremely depressing for me, and why this life is really boring to me, and that this life is really shitty to me. So it's because how I view life. I view this life that we're in, that this timeline we're in, as enslavement, total enslavement, because all people do literally is eat, go to sleep, shower, put on their fucking clothes or their work uniform, drive to work, and repeat. That's literally what fucking people do. So if I'm in a situation to where if that's where literally most people fucking do, then I'm gonna be fucking bored. I'm gonna be fucking. I'm not gonna like this world because this world is it keeps people stuck and restricted in a constant life cycle of bullshit, meaning we're all fucking slaves for the system. The fact that you can't even there's no true freedom in this world. I don't think people can really grasp it. That's the main reason why we have a lot of issues in this fucking world. When it comes to crime, when it comes to mental health issues, when it comes to violence, when it comes to wars and battles, is because of this fucking society we're in. How do people not get that? Throughout our whole lives, we've been controlled and restricted against our own free will covertly. We're forced to go to school, we're forced to go to work, and we're forced to make money, you know? And then you have parents who are incompetent to where they can't even teach their kids the ins and outs of the society because most parents, they're just slaves for the system. So if you're a slave for the system, you're not going to question the system. You're not going to question this world. You're not going to question this reality. You're not going to question how your life is being controlled. No, most parents, they don't teach their kids any of that. Instead, they just teach their kids on what's given to them, such as you got to go to school, you got to work, you got to make money, and you got to get the fuck out of the house. That's pretty much what it is once you're 18. So not only the system is producing a lot of people who are incompetent to where they can't even think outside the box, they can't even think freely, but also it's creating a lot of people that have mental health issues. It's causing mental health issues within people as well. A lot of people are narcissistic. A lot of people are depressed. A lot of people are even overweight, and because they're and not only that, but people are falling into drugs and bad habits is because of the society we're in. People are trying to find an escape route because we live in a fucked up society. And if you study human history, or even observe human history, you don't even have to know what the fuck is going on. But we can all agree that throughout human history, there's been nothing but violence, wars and battles going on, enslavement, and shit like that. So throughout human history, there's been nothing but a lot of evil shit, and we still are experiencing a lot of evil shit. It's just it looks different. It's very covert. Back in the day, it was very overt. This timeline we're in is very covert. So yeah, so for example, if you don't want to work for the system, if you don't want to be part of this system, if you don't want to be a slave, okay, that's fine, but this system is not going to give you money. This system is not going to give you food. This system is not going to give you a place to stay or a car. If anything, if you had a car, food, place to stay, while you're because the reason why you have those things is because you are a slave for this system. The reason why you even have a car is so you could drive and go to work. The reason why you even have a house and a bed and food is so you could have time to recover, so you could clock in back to your slave job pretty much. But if you refuse to be a slave, they're gonna kick you out your house because you're not paying rent. You're gonna miss car payments because if you're not working, if you're not being a slave, you're not getting money. So you're gonna have a lot of missed payments, and that car bill is gonna take most of your payments. Then your car's gonna get your car's going to get repoed, and you're not gonna have a place to stay. And there's no homeless shelters that they're like there's no free housing, there's no free vehicles, there's no free anything to help support you. How come there's no free housing? How come there's no free cars? How come there's no free food? How come there's no open communities like that? And even there are open communities or like some type of benefits when it comes to homeless people and support systems, it's not even that good. It's temporary. It's very shitty. It's very shitty and it's not right. Why? So human beings, we're not free. This world is not morally right because it only supports you if you're supporting the system. If you're not supporting the system's not going to support you. So that shit makes no fucking sense, right? So this is why this world is so fucking evil, you know? There's no true freedom. A lot of people feel restricted. A lot of people feel stuck. Is because this world restricts us based on money. The money system keeps us stuck. Yes, there are good parts in this world, but there's also a lot of bad parts as well that keeps people stuck. And we are victims to this shit because when we were babies, we were born into families that didn't know jack shit but to be a slave for the system. So they passed down that knowledge to us. And as us being children, we can't think outside the box because we don't know what the fuck is going on. We were never taught on how to think outside the box. We were never taught how to be ourselves because school, it dumbs us down in that way and it teaches us how to abide by the system. And another problem with these school systems, they don't teach kids and teenagers how evil this world is. They don't teach people how corrupt this world is. So if we're in a situation where no one is teaching the next generations on how evil this world is, then that's a fucking problem because now people are not going to know what's going on. They're going to be clueless, and all they know is go to school, get good grades, and and try to find a job and try to get out the house once they hit 18. So that's all they know. So in schools, they don't even teach people on how to gain skills. They don't teach people how to like apply for jobs or how to build your resume or how to build a house, how to do car maintenance, how to buy a car, how money works, how the system works, how to build credit. They don't teach you about how to use loans, the purpose of loans, the purpose of credit cards, how to build your credit. They don't teach they don't teach people any of this shit. They don't teach people about how to heal trauma. They don't. They teach people outdated shit. So not only these school systems restrict people, but it keeps them stuck because it's not teaching them anything meaningful for this world. So do we not see the flaws in the system? So yeah, so of course if I'm in this situation, yeah, I'm gonna feel depressed. I'm gonna feel bored. I'm not gonna feel engaged into this society. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, like me, I live in an apartment. In order for me to maintain that apartment, I have to work a shitty job that I'd rather not do, but I have to do in order for me to survive. Me, I don't have family I could rely on, or because I don't fuck with my family because my family, they're very narcissistic. They have a lot of mental health issues, and it was getting so bad to where I had to get away from them and cut contact with them because it was getting too out of hand. So I had to get the fuck away from them. So I have no one to go to. And because this society is set up in a way where like if you don't work for the system, they're gonna fuck you up covertly. They're not gonna support you. So and constantly working every single day, constantly having to deal with fucking people, constantly had to deal with money, constantly had to deal with bills taking up most of your money, constantly had to worry about your vehicle and all this traffic and not having true freedom. Yeah, that's going to create mental health issues. That's going to create a lot of narcissistic people. It's going to create crimes. Yeah, it's gonna get bad, So that's the main problem that no one is really talking about. Schools, they don't teach people any of this shit. They don't. Um, and throughout human history, there's been a lot of corruption going on. There's nothing as human beings we could do about it, but the most we can do is at least spread awareness. Like at least let it be known through social media. On what the fuck is going on, and hopefully those teachers or the people who run the school system, maybe they can use common sense to actually teach kids and future generations on how to properly be prepared for life, but to also what to look out for and know the ins and outs of life, such as corruption and how to work and build your way up and how to navigate around this system, So, but also I'm gonna talk about money. Money is extremely weird to me because the same way someone could rob a bank and someone could steal money off a cash register, or someone could steal money or people could find money on the ground, or they could win money off the fucking lottery. That's easy money for them. They didn't have to work for it. But what about people who slave their whole life away? My bad. Excuse my French. What about people who work their whole life away for like 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, right? Or even part-time? That's still a lot of time out of their day. It drains their energy, it makes them tired, but they had to be miserable and they rather not do the job, but they had to do the job in order for them to make money, not because they care about money, but because they want to survive. People don't give a fuck about money. They just care about survival, and money is survival. So it's no different than having Chuck E. Cheese coins It's no different than as I'm making a video, someone left their car fucking alert on and it's distracting me. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's part of spiritual warfare, honestly. But anyways, it's really hard to make this video with this fucking car horn on. But anyways, money is no different than Chuck E. Cheese coins. Money is no different than Monopoly money. Money is no different than tokens. It's no different. If we replace real cash money with tokens or with Chuck E. Cheese coins, but the meaning and the purpose of the Chuck E. Cheese coins is the same as money, people will still take these Chuck E. Cheese coins extremely serious. That's how lame and pathetic this fucking life is, you know. So people don't give a fuck about money. They just care about survival, you know. And so yeah, so we're not truly free. Yes, if you work for the system, if you're a slave for the system, yes, it may provide you a bed, shelter, food, and a vehicle to travel. Yes, you can have vacation, but at the end of the day, it's very limited. And throughout your whole life, you're always gonna have someone watching over you. Throughout your whole life, you can have someone or a group of people controlling your life. Throughout your whole life, you're gonna be restricted and bound to someone else's decisions. Even if you have your own business, it's still the same thing because money rules this world. So throughout, we're not truly free. We think we're free, but we're not. People, we don't know what true happiness is. We don't know what true freedom is. We don't know what true bliss is. We don't. People think they do, but they don't. And that's one of the main reasons of how this world really fucks with people. Like, because people, they don't know what true happiness is because throughout their whole lives, one, they weren't taught the right things. Two, they don't know how this world operates and works and the purpose of it and how evil it is. And three, they were around people, or they were born into people who didn't know anything themselves, but yet they projected all of their trauma onto these people. And now the same people that these people projected their trauma on, they have kids, and then they project their trauma and their mindset onto their kids. So it's an evil generational curse of a lot of bullshit being passed down when it comes to narcissistic abuse, family trauma, money issues, poverty, struggle, just a lot of shit that's not being broken or being addressed pretty much. So, and then you got time speeding up. You got the days going by a lot faster. Time has been speeding up since 2018 up until now 2026. We currently are in 2026, and time has been accelerating extremely fast. The days have been going fast extremely every single day. Time has been speeding up every single day, and since we are experiencing that, people have less time to actually enjoy themselves and to recover once they're away from work. But because time is accelerating, they have no choice but to work, go back home, eat, shower, sleep, and then go back to work because time is speeding up so fast. They don't have time to recover and to enjoy life for themselves. Being a full time, you have to work 5 times a week and only have Saturdays and Sundays off. And realistically, you don't have one day off because on a Sunday, you can't even stay up at night. You can't even, because you're worried about getting enough sleep for you to clock into your slave job the next following day. So Sunday doesn't count as an off day. Only Saturday does. So realistically, you only have one off day, which is Saturday. So there's a lot of things in this world that's very backwards and that's not right. Another reason I feel like a lot of people are lacking creativity and they're lacking freedom of speech and freedom of thought and being unique and being different and being their authentic self. Because of the system, it restricts people, it forces people to work, it forces people it how the society is built around how much money you have. Money doesn't define your worth, but because of programming through social media, through like influencers, through like famous people and stuff like that, they like to shove money down at people's throats because they program people at a young age. So now people think, oh, they think their value is tied over having a car, having a certain house, having a certain amount of money, having certain clothes and stuff like that. And all that is bullshit. So that creates people to have a lot of self-esteem issues and lack of self-worth. So because the society creates a lot of mental health issues, it it produces a lot of family bloodlines who are very traumatized. And once they have their kids, they're going to project that same trauma that they have due to the society. They're going to pass it down to their kids. And once their kids get older, it's a repeated cycle of generational trauma. So this generational trauma starts up because of this evil society that we are experiencing that's not being changed. So that's all I got to say. Have it going. Peace.